Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell because today, we're diving into a story that's probably crazier than anything you've seen on TV. Get ready for some drama, some unexpected turns, and a whole lot of what-ifs. This is the tale of how my ex-friend stole my boyfriend, and how let's just say, I found a very interesting way to move on. So, picture this. It was my junior year of college, and life felt pretty perfect. I had an amazing boyfriend, Mark, who I thought was the one, and a best friend, Chloe, who I'd known since kindergarten. We were inseparable, the three of us. We did everything together. Study sessions, movie nights, even double dates. I genuinely believed we were going to be lifelong friends, and that Mark and I were building something special. I trusted Chloe completely, which, looking back now, was my biggest mistake. Things started to get weird gradually. Chloe, who usually had her own relationships and crushes, seemed to be spending a lot more time with Mark and me. At first, I didn't think much of it. I mean, we were a trio, right? But then, she'd start showing up unexpectedly when Mark and I had plans, or she'd text him directly about things that really had nothing to do with me. Little comments too, like, "Oh, Mark, you look so good in that shirt," or "You always make me laugh so much more than anyone else." I brushed them off as her just being her usual, bubbly self. My naive self thought she was just being friendly. The red flags really started waving when Mark began acting distant. He was less affectionate, more irritable, and always seemed to be busy. Our dates became less frequent, and when we were together, his phone was constantly buzzing, usually with a text from Chloe. I tried to talk to him about it, but he'd just say I was being paranoid or overthinking things. "Chloe's just a friend," he'd insist. "You know how she is." And I, foolishly, wanted to believe him. One evening, after weeks of this confusing behavior, I decided to surprise Mark at his apartment. I had cooked his favorite meal and was ready to clear the air. I walked up to his door, key in hand, and as I turned the handle, I heard voices from inside. It wasn't just Mark's voice, it was Chloe's, and they weren't just talking. They were laughing intimately, whispering. My heart sank. I pushed the door open, and there they were, sitting on the couch, way too close for comfort. They weren't kissing, but the way they instantly pulled apart, the guilt plastered all over their faces, spoke volumes. I felt like the world had stopped spinning. My best friend, and my boyfriend. The two people I trusted most in the world, betraying me right under my nose. I didn't yell, I didn't cry then, I was just numb. I remember looking at Chloe, then at Mark, and just saying, "How could you?" I dropped the food, turned around, and walked out. I didn't look back. That night, I cried more tears than I thought possible. My heart was shattered, my trust obliterated. It was the lowest I had ever felt. For weeks, I was a mess. I ghosted both of them, blocked their numbers, and avoided any places I knew they might be. My other friends rallied around me, but nothing seemed to dull the pain. I felt ugly, unwanted, and like a complete fool. Chloe tried to reach out, sending pathetic apologies about how it just happened and she didn't mean to. Mark, of course, was silent. It was during this period of utter despair that I met Liam. Liam wasn't just anyone. Liam was Chloe's longtime, unrequited crush. The guy she had been pining over for years, talking about nonstop, dreaming about. The one she could never quite get to notice her. He was in a different major, a year ahead of us, incredibly smart, kind, and just genuinely a good person. I had met him a few times through Chloe, but we had never really talked. One day, I was at our usual coffee shop, trying to study but mostly just staring into space, when Liam walked in. He recognized me, came over, and asked if I was okay. He had heard bits and pieces through the grapevine about what happened, and he was genuinely concerned. We started talking, just casually at first. He listened to me without judgment, offered some kind words, and just had a really calming presence. We exchanged numbers, just as friends, or so I thought. We started hanging out more often, initially just as friends. We'd grab coffee, study together, or go for walks. He was incredibly easy to talk to, and I found myself laughing again, something I hadn't done in weeks. He made me feel seen, heard, and valued. He actually cared about my day, about my thoughts, about me. It was a stark contrast to how Mark had been acting. As we spent more time together, I started to realize that Liam was everything Mark wasn't. He was attentive, thoughtful, and incredibly respectful. He'd remember little things I said, and he'd go out of his way to make me smile. There was no drama, no games, just genuine connection. And I found myself looking forward to seeing him. My heart doing little flutters that I hadn't felt since the early days with Mark. And then, it hit me. I was developing feelings for Liam. And from the way he looked at me, the way he held my gaze, I had a strong feeling the feeling was mutual. One evening, after a particularly lovely dinner, Liam walked me back to my dorm. As we stood by the door, he looked at me with those kind eyes, and said, "You know, you're an amazing person, and you deserve so much better than what happened." My heart swelled. Then, he gently took my hand and said, "I know you've been through a lot, but I really like you. A lot, and I'd love to take you on a proper date, if you're open to it." My first thought wasn't about revenge. It was pure, unadulterated happiness. I felt a genuine spark, a real connection. But then, almost immediately, the revenge part of my brain chimed in. Asterisk Chloe's crush. Asterisk the irony. The poetic justice of it all was almost too perfect. I smiled, a genuine, happy smile, and said, "I'd love that, Liam." Our first official date was magical. He took me to this quaint little Italian restaurant, and we talked for hours. It felt easy, natural, and incredibly hopeful. I hadn't felt this light and happy in so long. After a few more dates, it became clear that we were more than just friends. We were falling for each other. Of course, the news eventually got back to Chloe. I heard it through a mutual friend. Apparently, Chloe was absolutely furious, completely beside herself. She couldn't believe it. Asterisk, her asterisk, Liam. With asterisk, me, asterisk. The girl she betrayed. The irony was thick enough to cut with a knife. She started spreading rumors, trying to turn people against me, saying I was using Liam for revenge. But by then, I was so happy with Liam, so genuinely content, that her words just bounced off me. Liam, being the incredible person he is, didn't let any of it bother him. He knew our connection was real, and he trusted me. Mark, surprisingly, also heard about it. He actually tried to reach out to me, sending a text that basically said, "So, you moved on pretty fast." I just laughed. He thought I was getting back at them, and in a way, I guess I was, but it wasn't the main motivation anymore. The revenge was just a sweet, unexpected bonus. The real victory was finding happiness again, with someone who truly saw and appreciated me. What did I learn from all of this? First, never trust anyone blindly. Second, true revenge isn't about hurting someone back. It's about healing yourself and moving on to something better. And third, sometimes, the universe has a funny way of bringing you exactly what you need. Even if it comes wrapped in a package of drama and betrayal. Liam and I are still together, and honestly, I couldn't be happier. He's everything I never knew I needed. So, that's my story. It was a wild ride, filled with heartache and unexpected joy. What do you guys think? Have you ever experienced a similar betrayal, or perhaps found happiness in the most unexpected way? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, share it with a friend who loves a good story, and definitely subscribe for more crazy tales and adventures. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.